Welcome, fellow Jedi and Sith. You are tuning into Imperial Radio, your all-talk weekly Star Wars podcast. I'm your host, Kobe Larson, along with my co-host, Alex Wormstead. And today we've got another great episode of Imperial Radio for you guys. We're going to be talking about a little bit of news that's been circulating in the Star Wars community for a while, and some of the more recent. We're going to be discussing some things there. We're also going to be discussing some thoughts on the Mandalorian Season 2 coming up. There's a lot of buzz around that, some positive, some negative, some speculation going on, and we're going to put our Imperial Radio's 2 cents in that. First, we're just going to start off with some little bit of news. Nothing crazy going on, just a few things we thought were worth mentioning since we've kind of been skipping out on the news segment in the last couple weeks following our Star Wars madness and stuff of that variety. That's kind of been, we haven't been talking about the news too much. So without further ado, let's get to the news in less than 12 parsecs. First off, so this Jedi Temple game show, it's kind of an ominous thing right now, but there's this supposed game show kind of coming. I believe it's coming to the Star Wars Kids YouTube channel, if I read correctly. It's a YouTube channel that is directed at Star Wars kids, I guess. Or maybe it'll be on the Star Wars. I don't know if it's an actual. I don't know if Star Wars Kids is a Star Wars owned licensed entity. I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know what really is going on there, but I know there's a game show coming, and it basically looks like it kind of reminded me of the old. What is that called? Legends of the Hidden Temple or something like that. That used to be on Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
It kind of had. There was only just some random pictures, but it kind of gave me that vibe, and I kind of like that.
I haven't seen that in a long time.
Dude, that's a memory.
I might have to watch that.
I know that's a memory that a lot of people forget they have. Honestly, that's something a lot of people forget. I kind of got that vibe from it. It just kind of looked like that, like some kind of game show. And kids are messing around with some lightsabers and they're doing all kinds of stuff. I don't know. I really don't know much. Maybe it's nothing like that. Maybe it's exactly like that. I really don't know.
Just gotta wait and see.
Yeah. And then that's pretty much it for that.
Okay. Well, in other news, the new series, The High Republic, has been pushed back to 2021.
Yeah, that's a shame.
It's unfortunate, but
more time to develop, I guess.
Yeah.
It was definitely pushed back amid the whole coronavirus COVID-19 outbreak. That was I believe that was the main reason. For it, not just because of that specifically, but just because of the COVID-19's impact on the comic books and the graphic novels and things of that variety. Because when you shut down, which America is slowly reopening from that in certain places depending on where you live.
Yep.
But a lot of the private individual companies, like for example, comic books, right? I mean, you think about a comic book store. There's like basically one or two companies or distribution companies, so like shipping people that handle like comic books and how they're dispersed amongst the comic book stores. And those are, working class men and women who are driving those trucks to individual comic book stores. And basically the supply lines were kind of cut down through that from COVID-19. So they want to make sure that America is.
Well, I guess it'll just be a big bloodbath of a fight for the hyperspace lanes then.
Yeah, they haven't developed those really good hyperspace lanes to distribute those comic books. But yeah, basically they just want to make sure. I believe I'm just kind of putting words in their mouth, I imagine, but this was kind of my take, is that they wanted to kind of wait until everything is kind of opened back up, at least to enough that they can get these comic books and these graphic novels. They can get them distributed by these companies.
In which it's nothing bad that they're pushing it back. Maybe it's for the better even, because it gives the writers and everything else more time to develop everything with it, where they could rethink something or possibly just completely change something and make it better or worse. Who knows? But,
Right. Yeah, it's exactly how I feel about that. And then the Star Wars Galaxy's Edge VR game, that's something I just kind of saw circulating around the news. It kind of seems like it is going to be a VR game. I don't know if it's like it's paired with Oculus Rift, so I'm thinking it's going to be like a VR game that is going to like show you from your home basically some stuff around Galaxy's Edge. It's not like you're going to be able to walk around the entire park, I imagine, because what would be the point of going? But I think that's kind of what they're going for there. I read up on it, and honestly, the article I read was kind of ominous and confusing, so I don't really know what exactly is going on there. But it just seemed like
it'll be interesting to see what comes out of this.
Right, yeah. When we know more information on that, we'll definitely input that to you guys. But I don't.
How many moons
I don't know
does
necessarily.
Earth have?
Shut up. Anyway. So yeah, that's the news in less than 12 parsecs. Not a whole lot going on. The High Republic pushback might upset or concern a lot of people, but that's really about the biggest news going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now that that's over, before we get into the Mandalorian stuff, which everyone's probably waiting for, we wanted to kind of discuss some personal matters in the Imperial Radio fandom, I guess you could say.
So, yeah, I'd like to just say I have ED. No, I'm just kidding.
No, so basically, if you've been following along with the Imperial Radio for a while now, you know that we try to put stuff up on a variety of different platforms. You know, we started purely on SoundCloud, and then we started uploading to YouTube. We started uploading to Spotify. And we have a hosting service. We've slowly kind of been growing our brand, essentially, of the Imperial Radio brand. And if you are an avid follower, you'll notice that we have been uploading to YouTube. We used to just upload the episodes, and you could just listen to them from there. But I've actually uploaded a couple videos on my own time, since I have all kinds of time right now. And so basically, what we wanted to kind of throw out to you guys is that we are kind of trying to grow our YouTube side of the Imperial Radio brand. We're trying to upload some more videos. We're trying to get topics for some fun stuff, you know, not just obviously uploading the podcast episodes. We want to beam you guys some more fun stuff.
We want to
some
branch
collaborative
out,
stuff.
and, you know, if you guys want to, I know a lot of people like to watch while they're listening. So if we want to basically branch out to that where we have YouTube videos as well. And basically, yeah, I mean, where do you want to go for that? Should we start?
Well, and like the thing is it's not going to be okay. So Imperial Radio, for the most part, the podcast anyway, which I think is what we want to basically take Imperial Radio and make that the podcast. And then we're still kind of thinking of a name for the YouTube. We might call it Imperial TV, Imperial Network, something like that. Basically, but the whole thing together will be the Imperial Network or Imperial Radio Network, however we want to disperse that. But it's not going to be like the podcast is once a week. We do one episode a week. Now we've had weeks where, you know, we've haven't uploaded due to reasons, or we've jumped around our schedule dates. Like we did one on Monday for Star Wars Day, May the 4th, and we've done, you know, we just changed our uploading schedule. So if you're listening to this, you'll be hearing it on a Saturday where you used to hear episodes on a Friday. We're still kind of formulating all that, but basically we're a once a week podcast.
Yeah,
give or take a couple. And
you know, there's the occasional.
Yeah, there's occasional, you know, but we basically, it's not like we're going to upload videos at a set date and time, and, you know, it's not going to be an everyday thing. It's not going to be necessarily even an every week thing. It's just going to be we get an idea for a video, we put that forth onto the YouTube and see if we can do it first, and then if we get it done, get it filmed, get it edited. It's a lot more strenuous to do videos than a podcast. We just kind of sit here and talk. I don't do a whole lot of editing with the podcast. What you hear is what you get. I mean, that's we've looked at some stuff in the past for like intros and stuff like that, but for right now, it's really just a cut and dry.
It'd basically be if you were sitting across the table from us.
Essentially, it's like you're the third
we
listener.
Basically, don't touch it.
Yeah, we don't. We like to keep it kind of pure and unedited, unfiltered, all that. But with the YouTube videos, you kind of have to, if you want people to watch, you have to include the editing and the intros and the basically it all comes down to editing. But all that stuff that you need to do in the marketing and the branding and stuff like that, you have to do.
The extra bells and whistles that go along with it.
Exactly, and that's what. So it's going to be. You know, maybe every couple days, maybe once a week. You know, it'll be differing. There won't be a set time and date that you're going to see videos.
It won't be like the podcast where it's
No, it's just gonna be fun. It's basically just fun. And maybe there'll be about majority of the time everything we do is about Star Wars, but maybe there'll be some fun things in there just about your host Kobe now. It's just it's just kind of a fun. It's kind of like the Imperial Radio TikTok. We just post the stupidest funny stuff on our TikTok whenever just goofs,
just some laughs.
Yeah, I mean it's just fun.
It's just that's
what the YouTube's going to be for. We're not going to become a political debate YouTube or something like that. It's straight up fun. So if you guys like
Star Wars trick shots, the kids
Star Wars trick shots. We'll have some. I'm sure we'll have some theory videos and some top 10s, and I've already done some. I've been doing the tier makers. Those are fun, and they're just kind of a nice way to get started and get a grip and see what it's like to have stuff like that. But then it's only been me so far. We'll be including
the full cast.
The full cast, yeah.
The full cast,
yeah. Because there is actually somewhat of a crew that goes on with Imperial Radio. It's just whether or not we implement them in every episode.
Right.
It's
there's a lot behind the
There's
scenes.
a lot of behind the scenes stuff.
Behind the mic, there's more than just us two behind the mic.
Like Yoda in the corner.
Yeah, we have Yoda.
Yoda's
over
always
here. In the corner.
Here. He's really quiet. He doesn't talk.
We've got the Big Lebowski.
We got Big Lebowski poster back there. I mean, the dude's important.
The dude
to
is
the podcast.
very important.
Yeah. But anyway, guys, if you guys like fun. Hopefully you like fun. If you guys like fun things, come check out our YouTube, basically, is what that rant was all about. Because we're going to be posting some stuff, and you're going to see some stuff coming up. We hope you'll really like it. And we hope when you are all out of Imperial Radio to listen to, you can head on over to the YouTube or something like that, and you can go check that out. So
you're definitely going to check it out within, I would say, the next couple days. Right?
Yeah, because I have a video plan. I just discussed it with Al. And it's involving a couple more people that are going to help us do it and help us get it up. And that'll be kind of our first real Imperial Radio live. You'll be the first time you see our face, basically, unless you're on the TikTok. You can see our faces on the TikTok. And I guess we post a picture on Instagram. But for the most part, that's we have a video coming, so be on the lookout for that.
Yeah, just check it out, man.
Go follow Imperial Radio on YouTube. It's literally just Imperial Radio. You can look us up there on YouTube. I can actually put a link. I'll put a link in the description of the podcast description, and I'll have a link to that YouTube. Hopefully I remember to do that. If not, just go look up Imperial Radio on YouTube and subscribe, like, comment, all that fun stuff.
Oh, yeah. You know what you got to do? You got to subscribe. You got to like. You got to hit that bell in the corner.
Hit that bell in the corner. Yeah, we're going to be one of those guys. But no, you could hit the bell in the corner because that will give you a notification when we upload. So that's actually not a bad idea, Dr. Al. Anyway, back to the Star Wars side of things. Now that you just listened to us rant, you can listen to us rant again. Because we're going to be talking about The Mandalorian Season 2.
Yeah, I just finished it. No, I'm just
we've actually talked about this a little bit in the past. I don't remember what episode, but we talked a little bit about Ahsoka and some things like that. But we haven't really gone, at least as far as my knowledge goes, as far as previous episodes, I don't think we've gone too in-depth on, Season 2, especially with the news that we know now.
No,
we talked about Boba Fett a couple episodes ago, but that was just kind of a last-minute thing we added on to the episode.
That wasn't a fully sit down and talk about the Mandalorian, which we haven't done in, I would say, the greater of a month at least.
Right. It's been a couple episodes, really, since we've really talked about the Mandalorian. So, with all the news that we've gotten recently, the first big thing that came out was, the first thing I remember was they were talking about Ahsoka, right? And how there's going to be live-action Ahsoka. And actually a little bit before that, before we knew about Ahsoka, Giancarlo Esposito, I hope I'm saying that name right, the guy who plays Grand Moff Gideon, he actually, this might have been post-Ahsoka, but I think it was pre-Ahsoka news. He actually said that there's going to be lightsaber fights in Mandalorian Season 2.
I remember hearing about
that.
I think that was before Ahsoka.
Yeah, I think it was too. But, that was interesting. So then we kind of speculated, who has a lightsaber? And then we got the Ahsoka news that Rosita, what's that lady's name? Ooh.
Put me on the spot.
Oh man, Rosario Dawson. Rosario Dawson.
Dawson.
I was thinking Rosita, from The Walking Dead. Rosario Dawson will be playing the live action Ahsoka, the version of her. And then we got honestly, the biggest news, not necessarily to us, but the entire fandom as a whole, the Boba Fett news, with Tamora Morrison reprising his role. But there's actually been a little bit of news that we haven't talked about, is that they cast, oh boy, I can't remember the guy's name. But they cast a guy, and it's not Tamora Morrison, who played Jango Fett in the prequels, in case you didn't know. They cast another guy who's going to be, they explained that he will be wearing Boba Fett's armor, right?
Okay.
And now that could just be like Pedro Pascal was not in the Mandalorian armor in a lot of the episodes.
Right.
Like he only did it in like 3 episodes, I want to say. Other than that, they had basically stunt doubles.
Yeah.
That were just because you didn't, and if you don't see his face, so you don't need to see his lips move to talk.
It's just like the Darth Vader situation.
Exactly. It's David Prowse in the suit. James Earl Jones is the voice, and kind of the same thing. That's where I think it's going. With the whole they cast someone else to be in the suit other than Tamora Morrison, and I think it's not like Boba Fett takes off his helmet really either. I mean, he never took off his helmet in the original trilogy, so maybe they'll go that way. But a lot of people are speculating. There's a story that was in the Chuck Wendig Aftermath novel, which takes place after the Return of the Jedi.
Yep.
And there's this character named Cobb Vanth. That's a really stupid name, not gonna lie. Cobb Vanth. Sounds like I have a lisp.
Sounds like I can't think of it.
Cobb Vanth. So anyway, Cobb Vanth.
It sounds like this. Off the Office, Bob Vance, Vance Refrigeration.
Bob Vance from The Office. Okay, I like that. But anyway, yeah, Bob Vance, Cobb Vanth. God, that's so stupid. I hate that name. Maybe I'm saying it wrong. I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure it's Cobb Vanth. It's just like who put
they
those? They
must have been watching The Office, and they're like,
Bob Vance? Nah, Cobb Vanth.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I bet you what it was he was watching The Office. He had a lisp.
Bob Vanth.
Yeah.
He's just like Cobb Vanth.
Yeah.
Anyway, he basically, that character in the Chuck Wendig Aftermath novel, he buys he either finds or buys Boba Fett's armor, and he puts it on and kind of starts sheriffing around Tatooine, and then I'm pretty sure Boba comes back and gets it, if I remember right, or maybe that doesn't happen. I've never actually read the Aftermath novel. I know it's a really good one. I need to get around to reading it, but I know basically he's a character that was introduced in that novel, and people are speculating that that's who this guy is going to be, and maybe the Mandalorian and Boba Fett will have to team up to take him down so we can get Boba's armor back. Maybe it'll just be just Boba's deal, and the Mandalorian's just kind of there. Who knows? But that's what everyone's kind of speculating.
Yeah.
That's not necessarily what we wanted to talk about. That's just kind of a piece of news we haven't talked about. I thought I'd throw that in there. But basically, with all the news that we have now about the Mandalorian Season 2, a lot of people are speculating and kind of critiquing it in a way. I mean, you can't really critique something unless it's there, but you can. But they're kind of speculating a critique for it. They're giving a pre-critique, saying that like the whole fun of Mandalorian Season 1. We talked about this before the show started out.
Just the raw shock.
The raw shock of everything, and it was
nothing will beat Episode 1.
No, like the whole thing with the Mandalorian Season 1 was that you didn't know anything. Like you went into the show completely bone dry. You had no idea what it was going to be about other than a Mandalorian.
Yeah, you had absolutely no idea.
And now people are kind of pointing out the fact that we know everything, and the show hasn't even started yet for Season 2. Because that's just a big thing for a lot of people, is that like, well, you're gonna spoil. They're worried. Basically, after Season 1, so many people are holding the Mandalorian at such a high esteem.
Yeah.
Did you get that reference, or did I not give it good enough?
What'd you say?
Yoda holds you at such a high esteem.
Oh.
Anyway, yeah, no, they're holding Mandalorian Season 1 way up on the pedestal, and they're worried that with all this that's going on, with all the additions to the news about who's going to be in season 2 and who's going to play who, and they're giving so much away that it's going to conflict how it's going to be perceived when we actually get to watch it, basically. What's your opinion on that?
I think that they have a grand scheme of plans. They kind of gave you these cookie crumbs to lead you into something, and you're going to think you're going to know what's going on, and it's going to be one of those aha moment finales. I think people might be mad because the show might kind of roll with, like tipping over dominoes. Everything's going to kind of happen like they think, but I think they're going to throw a monkey wrench into things at the end.
And that's the way I am too.
Like they want you to know so much because they want you to know this, and they want to keep you. They want to basically they want you to focus on Ahsoka and Boba, and they more than likely will just be a little short, almost cameo.
And that's the same exact place that I am too.
There's absolutely no way that they're going to have them in a full.
Oh right.
I mean,
it'll be. I bet you it's an episode apiece.
Yeah.
And it's not even like. I mean, I bet one of them will be the highlight of that episode. Yep. And then the other one will probably, or maybe they both are, but it's
maybe
not
they're
like
even in the same episode. Who knows?
Literally, yeah, it could literally be the same episode, but it's. They stress that it's going to be a small role, but also some people are like, well, they say it's going to be a small role, but what's a small role? Is that 5 minutes? Is that 5 episodes? What's a small role?
Baby Yoda's a small role, I guess.
Exactly. He was supposed to be a small role, and now he is the show.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of people are worried about in that scheme of things, because Baby Yoda took over the show, right?
He did,
but in a good way.
Yeah.
And that's the majority of what people want to see is, I like seeing the Mandalorian kick some butt too.
Yeah,
but I also
there's nothing like Baby Yoda eating some chicky nuggy frogs.
Yeah, right. But I want to see Baby Yoda, maybe not this season, but at some point I want to see him go and find his family or be trained as.
I want to see something rapidly.
I do, but I know they won't do that because they're selling. They're not going to sell any toys of.
That's the problem.
They're not going to sell any teenage Yoda toys. It's kind of like what they did with Groot and like the Avengers, Guardians of the Galaxy, the MCU.
Yeah.
They had Groot, who was a cool character, and then they had Baby Groot, and everyone did the same thing. It was the same thing as Baby Yoda. It was, oh my God, I love Baby Groot. And then they made him Teenage Groot, and everyone's like, I like Baby Groot better. He's cuter.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, we messed up on that. And so I think they're going to keep Baby. I think Baby Yoda is going to be a baby for a while. I don't think you're going to see a full-grown.
Yeah.
I don't think you're going to see
Well, for sure, be
grown.
Probably another season and maybe a third season if they,
right.
Depending long-term what's the plan, but.
Right. And then, so basically people are speculating all these things with all this news we know, and they're trying to critique something that they don't even know about, which, good, do it. I hope you do speculate, but I don't think just because we know a lot of information, I don't think
anything's spoiled, really.
I don't think anything's spoiled yet, because you still have no idea how these characters are going to be used and what these news stories, how accurate they really are, and you never know. Obviously, they say confirmed or not unconfirmed, rumors, stuff like that, but you never know, because one news source gets this information.
Right.
And they get this information, and they know Mandalorian's a huge topic right now, and they're like, all right, we're going to put this on blast so we can get, because they're trying to get people to come to their website and make some money off their internet traffic.
Exactly. They're just,
so you never know what it's all going to be.
They're playing the click.
Right.
So. Exactly.
So with that being said, with the information that everything we've got with Boba and Ahsoka, what do you want to see besides Boba, Ahsoka, and maybe the Cobb Vanth guy? What do you want to see the Mandalorian and Baby Yoda and Moff Gideon? What do you want to see with the core characters that we already have established in this new season?
Well, I love Moff Gideon just because I'm a Breaking Bad guy.
Yeah, he's the Los Pollos Locos guy, right?
Yeah, he's Gustavo Fring.
I don't watch Breaking Bad. But I did know he was that guy, I guess.
I mean, he's kind of the same character. He's a pretty chill, cool-looking guy, but he's a psychopath.
Right.
So, but I don't know. I don't know what I want to see with him. I just know I want to see more of him because I love that actor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
no, he's cool, and he's a good actor from what I can see so far.
It'll also be cool to see what they're going to do with the Darksaber. I know they mentioned the actual Mandalore, if you've ever caught that, you know.
Right.
And people that don't know that, basically
check out the Old Republic stuff.
Check out the Old Republic stuff. And
yeah, you can explain it if you want to.
I can kind of sum it up, but Mandalore was a Jedi who was
that was Tar Vizsla. You're thinking of Tar Vizsla.
Tar Vizsla? Am I thinking Tar Vizsla?
Yeah, he was the one that
crafted the
Darksaber.
Okay.
The Mandalore was basically the leader of the Mandalorians back in the day. Yeah, no, I used to do the same thing. I used to get that messed up. You're thinking, Tar Vizsla was the first Mandalorian to join the Jedi Order and then crafted the Darksaber. Yeah. And then, but the Mandalore was the guy that used to lead the Mandalorians. He was the top Mandalorian, and they called him the Mandalore. And there was multiple Mandalores throughout history, depending on where you look in canon and EU and stuff. But Revan actually, I believe, defeated the Mandalore. This would technically be EU, but Revan is canon. But this story would be expanded universe. But he actually defeated the Mandalore and ended the Mandalorian Wars, I believe, as far as that goes. And then, but no, there's a lot of stuff like that lore that they brought back,
and it's awesome,
and it's great, you know.
I just want to see what they're gonna do with that. They can't just throw a bone at it and just kind of leave it there.
Right. And they don't have to go super in depth because, like, you know, this takes place in basic. I mean, it's after Return of the Jedi, but I still kind of consider it the Imperial era. You know, there's still stormtroopers running around. So, like, I don't want to see.
It's in that weird in between stage where the Imperial Empire, yet defeated, is still there.
And they're still there in
the
big
New
enough
Republic
numbers to be a threat.
Yeah, the New Republic is being formed.
Right, and they're in their infant stage right now.
I mean, very infant stage.
Right.
Because what is this, 5 years after Return of the Jedi?
I think so. I think we literally asked that, like, every episode.
Yeah.
We never remember that. That's funny. I think it's 5, but I don't remember. But yeah, personally, like, my thing is, I mean, I'm a Jedi guy, right? You know, and the thing about this show, I still like it even though there's no Jedi. But I'm not even talking about Ahsoka. Like, the Ahsoka news in The Mandalorian was like, that's awesome for me.
It is awesome.
But I'd cut Ahsoka out of the entire show and never see her in live action. If, like, I'd throw that to the curbside if I could get some in-depth stuff with Baby Yoda, like it doesn't have to be just one thing. Like, it could be Baby Yoda meeting other Yoda species.
That'd be cool.
I'd throw Ahsoka to the wayside.
Yeah.
If I could see Baby Yoda, it'd be kind of hard to show a baby, like, doing Force, like, training in the Force, but something to do with the Force, and that involves Baby Yoda. Like,
what else would be cool is how they mentioned that. What's the lady Mandalorian's name?
She's just called the Armorer. Nobody knows who she is yet, but she's just called the Armorer.
But how she says that you have to return him
to the people. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know who the people are.
Who are the people?
But I want to see that.
Are we going to see a CGI Mark Hamill? Like, what if that'd be
awesome.
That'd be awesome to be out there.
And
but
that'd
then
be one
think
of those
about
things.
This: Ben Solo killed that baby.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to go that way specifically because I don't think they're going to tie.
They don't want to tie anything.
We don't know.
With that.
We don't know.
But we don't know exactly.
But that's the thing. Like,
that'd be kind of cool.
This character, this Baby Yoda character, is so sought after and so powerful. Like, that's the thing about what the sequels are done and over, but you can still tie stuff to the sequels.
Yeah.
And if this it's like what I always say is, like, if this character is so powerful and so useful to the universe, you're not going to tell me that they're just chilling during the sequel trilogy or the prequel trilogy or the original trilogy. You know how they say, like, this person may have survived this Jedi may have survived Order 66 and we just don't see them, right? It's like, you're telling me that you have this powerful Jedi that survived Order 66 and they didn't help the rebels at all? Or you didn't hear about it? Like, you know, that's the thing. Like, if Baby Yoda is so important and so powerful, there's no way that somebody, I don't know what you're going to do. I don't know. That's kind of a...
It's tough. It's tough.
You get what I'm saying with, like, the whole, how you want to connect them, but you feel like you shouldn't, but if you don't connect them, it's like, well, what are they doing then, you know?
Oh, it's a merge grabber.
Right. Oh, and that too. But
I feel like somewhere down the line, there is a dot to connect to the other with Baby Yoda.
Right, and I just wonder if they have, established that fully, or if they're still kind of thinking.
I seriously think they're just kind of going off the cuff.
I think
they have a plan up
I think
their
they
sleeve,
have a plan, but I
they're
think
kind of going off
the
cuff.
It's clay. They have this outline,
right?
But they got to do some little, or they got this piece of wood, right? And that's the main outline. But they're like, we could sand it down a little here, buff it out a little here, you know, like. It's still it's clay. It's moldable. You know,
yes.
They have this fine outline, but they're like, pinch it down a little here.
I feel like they have the complete circle done from, they have the two endpoints. I would say
basically.
The starting point where he is, how he originated, and then the end point of how he's going to completely be done and how we're going to kind of write him off, which will more than likely be towards the end of the show.
I mean, I'm gonna say that one's gonna end. I think the personal I don't know if it's a hot take, but personal take of mine is the Mandalorian will die.
Yes.
Din Djarin will be dead.
Yeah, he'll die.
That character is too powerful, too important to just like you got to tie up loose ends. You can't just have him just chilling, you know. The only people that get to be just chilling in the Star Wars universe are Yoda and Obi-Wan. They get to just chill, but that's it.
Yeah.
That's
exactly.
It.
So, yeah, that's the way I see it, is that they kind of had how this thing's going to start done, and then the tail end of how we're going to wrap it up, how we're going to do it. And then right now they're just kind of riding out the success in the middle, I think.
Right.
How they're going to wrap everything together full circle.
Uh-huh.
They have the two endpoints done, but they want to know how to bend it into the circle.
Exactly. You got the two endpoints, but got to figure out how we're going to make it work out in the middle too. Yeah, and that's same thing. I want to see. It's only season 2. It's not like this is the last season. They still have plans to write more seasons.
If this show has success, I would say that this show could go on for 7-8 seasons, no problem. If they do it right, though.
And I think I love the storyboard. I love the people that are on board with this, and I love Jon Favreau and even like some Dave Filoni's and guys that get involved like that. And I think they have a talented crew coming up for season 2. Well, they've already shot and directed, so that's already done and over with. But for season 3 and stuff like that, I think they have a pretty talented crew that's going to keep this going. But I think ideally, I would say 4 to 6 seasons would be the most ideal. Okay, but if it's great every season, then keep going. I'm not saying you got to cuff yourself.
If things line up perfectly.
But the way TV shows work like this, 4 to 6 seasons is my opinion on how. Because otherwise,
until
it's
that shock value goes away completely, the show will have success. If there's still shock value in every single season, not every episode, you can't have that every episode, but every single season there's shock value.
Right.
And it leaves you with something. Also, that's another thing. They need to have cliffhangers at the end of the season, which they did.
And that's big.
That's big.
But you can't rely on that. Like, you can't be a Lost type show where it's like every season and every episode is some big cliffhanger, because like then people will get less. You can't diminish your overall quality with each episode being like, it just doesn't work. But you can't be like you think like The Walking Dead, right? I consider The Mandalorian and The Walking Dead to be a very similar show, not in terms of plot or anything like that, but the type of show that it is, an action show that is live action, and is an ongoing story, but each season and not even necessarily each season, but there you can break The Walking Dead off into chunks.
Yeah,
you have this part and this part and this part, and The Mandalorian's only in season 1. But say we get 4 seasons of The Mandalorian, right? Say that's what we get.
Okay.
4 seasons.
Yep.
The first season was the introduction, and then some stuff with Baby Yoda, and then introduction of the main bad guy. But maybe, okay, you think like Walking Dead, right? Who was the main bad guy in season 1? There wasn't really yet. That was the main bad guy were the walkers, the zombies, right?
Yep.
You go to like season 2, 3. The first big bad guy, right? We get
Shane.
You get Shane, I guess. He's the first bad guy.
Yeah.
He dies off. Then it goes on to the next big bad guy. You get the governor, right?
Yep.
You think like, oh, this guy's bad. This guy's bad. He dies, right? He gets killed. Then we get Negan. And you're like, whoa, this guy is bad. That's still kind of going on. But you get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
The Mandalorian, I think, is going to be similar. Right now, we're like, oh man, this Moff Gideon guy is bad. He could die this season, and then we'll be on. We could be on a bigger bad, and I think that's why it's similar, and that's why I
agree.
That's why I think we're gonna run into an issue of people
repetitiveness.
You have to build stuff, but sometimes you have to build stuff in more than just a season. Like each season is not a one-off season. There are seasons of, I keep going back to this, but there's seasons of The Walking Dead where like season 2 and 3 are should be like one season,
right?
And then like season 4 and 5 should be one season, like because they're a 2-season story, and I think that's what's going to happen with The Mandalorian is you're going to be like maybe season 2 and 3 are kind of the same story,
right?
But we're not going to see season 3.
That's
for
the
a
other
while.
thing. I would also like it to see. Season 1 was fine because it's the introduction of everything.
Yeah, right.
Kind of doing something different.
That's just kind of how every show works. Season 1, or at least a portion of it, is the introduction, so there isn't a whole lot to be taken away from there.
It's just kind of random quests and stuff like that.
Right.
But
an introduction to characters that you don't have to do in later seasons.
Yep, and then the last part of season 1, they kind of just went with one story.
Right.
Back to the main thing. I want to see more of that because I like my soapy shows like that.
Right. No, I like an ongoing story, but you can have an ongoing story that is in chunks.
Yes, you can.
It doesn't, like, season 2, I mean, I'm not kidding. I would not be surprised if Moff Gideon is dead this season. Everyone thinks he's the big, big bad, but everyone thought Shane was the big, big bad, and he died. You know what I mean? Like, everyone thought the governor was big, big bad. He died. And then a new one comes about, and it's... That's the thing, though. Hopefully it doesn't get repetitive.
Yeah, because that's the thing, is the repetitiveness, and that's where you lose a lot of people.
Right. And we don't want that.
Oh, they're fighting over this because this bad guy wants this. And it's the same thing that the last guy wanted, and he's going to be worse than the other one, and the team's going to rally around and find a way to defeat him. That gets repetitive. You need to have good, consistent, but yet shock value story.
Right.
Where if you're going to have multiple bad guys, they've got to have different motives. They've got to have not similar backgrounds, not similar feels to them. They have to have just entirely different ideals, I guess, or something like that. Just something so it's different.
It's different, but it still contributes to the ongoing story.
Yeah.
And I think season 2 is going to be a big builder season. There might not be as much, like, you think there's going to be a lot of action. There's going to be a lot of action, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But it's not, maybe it's not as big of a in-your-face type of action, in-your-face type of stuff as season 1 was. I think it's going to be a big builder. It's going to be one.
Yeah, I think so, too.
It's kind of like going to be like the second movie of a 3-part trilogy. It's a big builder.
It's that builder and cliffhanger.
It's the Attack of the Clones. It's not the most action-packed in your face, but it's getting you to the next part.
Yep.
Same thing with Empire. It's getting you to the next part.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And I think that's what this is going to be, because I could see this being a 3-season show as well. I know there's going to be at least 3 seasons. Like, we all know that. They're writing season 3 right now, but we don't know beyond that. So what if it is a 3-season show and this is the middle part? Or what if it's a 4-season show and this is a builder? Basically, that's. I'm ready for Mandalorian season 2. If you can't tell, so is Al. We love it.
I'm ready for.
I'm just ready to getting back on that. Yo, it's Friday. We got a new episode. I love that. Me and you watching it together. Yeah, right. You guys get Imperial Radio and Mandalorian. That's some good stuff.
That is some great stuff.
We'll be uploading on Saturdays by then, but hell, it's
maybe during Mandalorian we'd upload Fridays or something.
We could do that.
Who knows?
Yeah, maybe.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Let's get in the car and see where it takes us. Let's go to Chili's.
True. But yeah, and even so, though, that's gonna be a hell of a weekend for you guys.
Absolutely.
Because you get the best podcasts in the world.
Possibly ever.
Yeah.
It's not racist at all.
No. And then you get Mandalorian too. Yeah, it's a lot of good stuff. Fridays and Saturdays, man. Good stuff. It's what we live for. You know what else we live for? Our podcast. And where can you find that podcast? You can find that podcast on SoundCloud. You can look us up there at Imperial Radio. Spotify, Imperial Radio Podcast. You can listen to us on YouTube. That is Imperial Radio on YouTube. Just go ahead and type that in. I'll try to remember to put the link to our YouTube in the description so you can check out. We have two videos up right now as of 5/28/2020 of 9:26 p.m. when we are filming or recording this. There's 2 videos up. Maybe by the time you look, when this gets uploaded on Saturday, we're going to upload this episode on Saturday. Maybe there'll be the new video that we're planning on doing up, but we don't know yet. But anyway, yeah, listen to us on Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube, or on the Podbean website. Just look up Imperial Radio or Imperial Radio Podcast. We should pop up.
Absolutely.
Yep. You can email us with any thoughts, concerns, ideas for shows. I mean,
funny memes even.
You want to? Yeah, that's probably more of a Twitter thing. But yeah, you want to email us some memes? .jpegs. We got you.
Yeah.
And anything like that. And if you guys want to do like viewer questions, or listener, I should say, not viewer. Listener questions, like say you want to ask us some questions, we'll read your questions on air, and we will, you can message us, DM us, or anything on any of our social medias, but email will be the best. Yeah, if you want to drop us an email and be like, hey, I just got a question, what's your guys' favorite Star Wars movie, and or something like that, we'll tell you. We'll answer those questions. We're friendly guys. We'll include your name if you want and stuff like that, so you can get yourself out there to the other Imperial Radio fandom. Yeah, email us, imperialradio66@gmail.com. That's probably the best place to get in direct contact with us. Twitter is the best place to get into a fun, how would you say that?
Non-business
non-business affiliated way, just kind of fun. If you want to drop us a meme, you can always drop us some memes. You can literally post a meme and tag us in it, and we'll probably like it and comment back and tweet back at you.
Yes, sir.
But you can find us there at Imperial Radio P1 on Twitter. Instagram and Facebook, you can find us you can type in at Imperial Radio Podcast in each of those, and we will pop up. And I've been posting a lot of memes on the Instagram. So the Instagram is kind of turned into more of a fun place, kind of like TikTok. You can find us on TikTok. Just go ahead and type in at Imperial Radio. You can find us on your For You page. We're cranking out them epic TikToks. Oh yeah. Yeah, just go ahead and find us on all those things, and do whatever you can, like, follow, subscribe, comment, tweet, retweet. I mean, all that stuff. Anything you can do helps, guys. We're not in this for the money or anything. We just like getting our voice and getting our opinions, sometimes our really bad opinions, out there to everyone we can. So thank you for listening. And if you are listening, you're an OG. And yeah, just want to say thanks. Have a good night.